Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder with yet another story for you. This one is titled, My 27 Male, Wife 28 Female Return from a Work Retreat with a Hickey. She swears it's a bug bite, but I'm not convinced. I'm at a loss. How do I move forward? Not an AITA question, so we won't do a poll for it. We're just going to dive right in. By the way, this is from Relationship Advice. I'm 27 male in a fight with my wife 28 female. We've had fights before, but not this bad. I'm at a loss on how to proceed. For context, we're college sweethearts married for almost 6 years. We have a daughter, 4 female. Our relationship was never perfect or without challenges. We faced some family opposition with cultural differences, but we've made it work. She's my first love and my best friend. My wife works in a corporate job. Her job has annual work retreats that last for about a week. This year was in Vegas. I usually arrange my work schedule and tag along with her, and we make our own trip of it. We couldn't this year. Our daughter gets major anxiety traveling long distances. We're working on it, but she wasn't budging, and we decided to choose our battles. So I stood behind and held down the fort at home. The change of plans was a bummer because the trip was part of us reconnecting as both a couple and as a family. My wife's work hours have taken a toll, and her work-life balance leaves much to be desired. We entertained the idea of her skipping the retreat. Attendance is optional, but it's generally frowned upon if you don't, and my wife's making connections in her field. She grew increasingly weird while on this trip. We have a system. If either of us is away for extended periods, we keep in contact. For the first day or so, she was herself, but grew distant. I'd even text her about important stuff and be left on red while she claimed she never saw my text. Whenever we talked, she was rushing me or our daughter off the phone. These were all times she wasn't involved in retreat activities. He got a vibe. He got a vibe. We were supposed to be having a mini birthday celebration for our daughter over FaceTime. Our daughter was excited. It was something my wife promised her because the retreat overlapped her actual birthday. But my wife backed out because she had people up in her room after a seminar. It was like she wanted my permission to break her promise to our daughter. I told her I wasn't offering that nor making her keep her word. She said I wasn't being fair and this was a networking opportunity. They were business oriented and wouldn't understand her stepping away for family time. Promised your daughter to do FaceTime for a virtual birthday party and then backed out to network? And the people that you're networking with wouldn't understand stepping away for family time? That's not a network you want to be a part of. I said her decision is her decision, but she'd have to explain it to her daughter. She promised her that she would rain check the following day. Our daughter didn't understand and cried. Well, no shit.
She's 4, you bitch.
My wife ended up hanging up and leaving me to comfort our daughter alone. That whole incident rubbed me the wrong way. I didn't like it. She didn't keep her word for the rain check either. She was documenting the retreat on social media. One coworker, 23 male, was almost in every pic or video attached to her hip. In one pic, he had his arm too comfortably around her, in my opinion. He's a recent hire in my wife's department. She was asked to oversee him. I don't like the guy. He doesn't know boundaries. Once, in response to a work assignment, he texted my wife that she's exactly the kind of woman he needs to keep him in check. My wife brushed it off. She feels bad for him because he's not fitting in.
I have a feeling he fit in just fine.
But I've seen her at these retreats. This wasn't like her. She was just off. The day before her return home, she complained about a bruise on her neck. She stressed it was a bug bite. I didn't actually see the bruise until she came home. I instantly thought it was a full-on hickey. She kind of brushed it off after making a big deal over it over the phone. I didn't push because our daughter was present. But when I was able to confront her, she clung to her bug bite claim. When I kept pushing, she asked what I was trying to imply. I outright said I believed she had a hickey, and I didn't believe she was being honest with me. We had it out then. She was offended and pissed at the accusation. Infidelity has always been a sore topic. Her family has a history of infidelity. So we had a pretty bad fight, and she accused me of looking to pick a fight due to the incident with her daughter's birthday. I told her it had nothing to do with that and everything to do with a hickey on her neck. I mean, they are connected. The fight ended in an impasse. We're still not recovered. She swears it's a bug bite, but I'm not convinced. I've always trusted my wife. I've never doubted her, but this bruise doesn't look like a bug bite. It looks like a hickey. I only feel more strongly when I consider how distant and weird she was during the Vegas retreat. Now she's wearing turtlenecks ever since, and we're caught between arguing and her dousing our daughter and me with affection. Communication always prevails for us, but not now. I think my accusation pushed us to a new level of argument. I'm at a loss here. I really need outside perspectives. How do I move forward? What bug bites in a hickey style? They've got those suction bugs, they just fly up and they latch on. This hickey would help explain her uncharacteristic behavior the rest of the time she was there. Okay, here's the update. I-27 Male wanted to give an update and thank everyone who reached out. The outside perspectives helped. Things are a roller coaster. I'm trying to process. It took a while for my wife, 28 Female, and me to have a real conversation about the bruise on her neck. We were stuck between arguing and her showering our daughter, 4 Female, and me with affection. I rarely saw the bruise because she was turtlenecked up, but I did note the healing process from reddish purple to yellow. It's not a bug bite. There wasn't any more discussion about the Vegas retreat. She made it clear she was done talking about it and that she shouldn't need to defend herself to her husband. I told her she could do whatever she wanted, but I was done being treated like an idiot, and I wasn't sharing a bed with someone I couldn't trust. So I moved to the guest room. Communication stopped. The silences were palpable. Even our daughter noticed. I'm not proud of that. I tried keeping her out of fights. My wife came to the guest room one night and asked if we could talk. I could tell she had been crying. She said she hated the way things were between us. She felt she was losing me either way. I told her I needed complete honesty. She confessed she hooked up with that coworker, 23 Male, on our daughter's birthday. The hickey was from him. I judge you, Bizzo, more for ditching your daughter's birthday call to do this guy than I do for doing this guy, for cheating. I judge you more for doing that. You can no longer claim that this was like a drunken, like a random act of passion. No, this was premeditated. She was lost in the heat of the moment and didn't realize he was sucking so hard on her neck. By her account, they made out while doing some on top of the clothes stuff, and then he went down on her. It stopped there because he called her by a nickname that I affectionately call her. It snapped her back to the reality of her actions.
No, it didn't.
She's got a hickey on her vajayjay too. You just ain't seen it yet. She's probably got that turtlenecked up as well.
She went to splash water on her face and saw the hickey. The guy made light of it and made a joke about the hickey being her souvenir. She blew up on him and kicked him out of her suite. Part of the reason she was avoiding me was out of guilt. She said she was coming clean because she doesn't want to hide things anymore. Anymore. What about the time before this moment when you realize there's no other way? I asked her why she cheated. What was it about this guy she deemed worth risking everything? She claimed it wasn't him specifically, nor is she unhappy with our marriage. She doesn't really know how to explain it, but a part of her feels broken. The more she looks in the mirror, the more she sees her dad, 57 Male. A cycle of being consumed with work, distant from child, and the infidelity he put her mom, 55 Female, through. She said her family never talked about anything openly and how when she was growing up, my mother-in-law never addressed anything with her. I said her parents didn't make her cheat. She chose to party up with a guy who constantly disrespected our relationship. These were all her decisions, and she at any point could have chosen our family. She agreed. She wants to blame her parents, but realizes this is on her. She apologized for cheating and for entertaining the guy's advances. She said she'll do whatever it takes to repair. Go to HR, quit her job, counseling, anything. She wants to make everything right. I told her I don't know what looks right or if it's possible for us anymore. I knew we had our problems, but I thought there wasn't anything we couldn't talk out. She insisted we could still talk it out. We didn't have to give up on us. She tried giving this rally cry for our relationship, but I felt very numb. I said I didn't recognize her. Not just the betrayal of our vows, but also how she treated our daughter. She is like a stranger. She feels she failed as a wife and a mom, but she loves us both beyond words and wants our life together and our family intact. I told her I couldn't give her the answer she wanted and thought we needed to separate and reevaluate. She didn't want separation. She felt we should stay together in our home, but I told her a separation was happening. Either she was leaving the home or I was with our daughter. She consented to leaving so as best not to uproot our daughter so much. She asked for our daughter not to be taken away from her. My wife staying with my in-laws. I know that's difficult in itself because she doesn't have the best relationship with her parents. One of the hardest parts is the shift for our daughter. Right now, she believes her mom's just busy with work as usual. She hasn't questioned it too much. My mother-in-law called the other day. She made no excuses for my wife, but she's advocating for us to work through it. She doesn't get a vote, and also she wants her problem to go away, which is your wife staying with her right now. She told me times when she heard my wife describe me as the anchor she always wanted. She believes there's something worth fighting for if I'm open. Despite having family opposition we faced throughout our relationship, my mother-in-law was always a supporter of us. I'm even more at a loss. I never imagined this kind of betrayal from my wife. She was my safe place. I feel numb yet broken. I'm in love with her. That hasn't changed, but I don't see myself, her, our relationship, or our family the same. Everything's more tense because it's fresh. I think this period of separation is for the best. I'm not sure about divorce. I haven't let myself fully go there. I'm not set either way. I don't know where things will go from here, but I'm focusing on our daughter and taking things one step at a time. I feel that's all I can do right now. Thanks again to everybody for the support. It's much appreciated. Top comment here. Ask her if she would be open to reconciliation if you had cheated with a coworker, hurt her daughter, gaslit her, and made her feel like an idiot for questioning you. Also, if you think it stopped at him going down on her, I have a bridge in Brooklyn I'll sell you Super cheap.
Ah.
At what point do you think, OP, that you could start trusting her again? Could you ever trust her again? You loved who she was before this incident. What about now? You know what? The red lamps are on. You know what that means. It's Tater Thoughts time, ladies and gentlemen. Tater, come on up here. Give us your thoughts on this. I call bullshit on everything she's saying. It didn't stop there. Of course, she wants reconciliation. She wants to have her cake and eat it too. Sorry. You don't get to perform actions like this without consequences. Come on up, Tater. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tater Thunder.
Well, I don't know if I could forgive the cheating, but I think the one thing I don't think I could forgive is what she did to her child. And that is trading a night with someone who is not your husband instead of calling your daughter. Like, the amount of lies that she told to get out of this, FaceTime birthday party with her 4-year-old child is just, she dug a hole very deeply. And I just don't know that I could forgive that in a relationship. Like, that's the part that makes me the most mad, I think, is that she hurt her child. We've read a lot of cheating stories, but this one kind of takes the cake, because I feel like she not only cheated on her husband, broke her marriage, but also lied about the reason that she couldn't do the birthday party with her daughter. And I don't know how you come back from that. And I don't know how, like, quitting the job and all of that. I just wonder if he had crossed lines before, if that was the first time that they had hooked up, because she was absent the whole trip. Like, it was like, it felt comfortable for him to be with him. And so I do think they had sex. I think she's lying.
Yeah. There's no way you trade in your kid's virtual birthday party for some oral. She banged him.
No. I just don't know how you come back from that, especially the gaslighting and the lying that happened when she first got back, when calling it a bug bite and, like, setting up this story on the phone, and, like, she did all of this stuff, and, like your husband said, you just expected me to be an idiot and, like, just take every spoonful of what you said and not do my own critical thinking. I think that's also insulting, to assume that someone is just going to believe that you happen to have a hickey that looks like a bug bite, and we're supposed to just believe that you got bit by a bug. I don't know. If that happened to me, I'd be like, this is the bug, this is how it happened. I'd have every detail.
If it was actually
a bug bite, not just dismissing it and wearing turtlenecks. So I think I think she went too far. I wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a person like this.
No, hell no. You couldn't trust anything, and now that distrust affects your child as well. And now you have to worry for their sake. Like, in what other occasion is mommy going to lie and manipulate and not care because she, I don't know.
I find what she did repulsive and disgusting, and I wouldn't put my child through that again, because I don't know, but I'm grossed out by this woman.
Yeah.
And I'm grossed out by the fact that she was so dismissive of her husband and her child, and ugh. I don't think it was her first time cheating either. I think it was her first time getting caught. Yeah. And I also don't think it was her first time cheating with the 23-year-old. I think that they were alone and her time was more occupied. And to me, I don't know why people cheat. I don't know why people do what they do. But if this came so easily to her, what else has come easily? And in the future, if something happens and you guys get in a fight, or she's not happy in some way, like, what's going to stop her from doing this again? And I wouldn't put myself in the position, like, the shame me once, shame on you, shame me twice, shame on me. I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Yeah. At what point does the disrespect stop? Because it's not just that it happened. It's not just that she shirked her responsibilities as a wife and a mother to achieve that, but then got home and lied and gaslit and love bombed and did all of these additionally compounding disrespectful things. Like, even now, what she's trying to do is still disrespectful. It's still not taking full accountability. She tried to blame her parents for this. Right. And the whole comes from a cheater thing, like sins of the father shit. Like, I cannot stand it. Cannot stand it. Dr. Sweet, you're here, and there are other people that maybe have some experience or knowledge in this field, but is infidelity hereditary?
Or is it something you witness growing up? I don't know. I think at this point she's 28. This woman is old enough to determine right from wrong, and I think everything that she did on that trip was wrong, and I'm sure she's done wrong stuff before that, and then to blame it on someone else and not take accountability is No, but the experience can be lasting, Ellen says.
Yeah, Angel dropped the $5 super, said, were the pictures of them together post-oral? If so, there was no remorse until she got caught. Yeah.
So there was no remorse until the hickey was there and she knew that her husband was going to see it.
When he felt, I don't know what to call him, AP, felt comfortable enough to leave a hickey.
And felt comfortable enough to have his arm around her in pictures. So that tells you,
Ugh.
I think
so. It's a choice to break a cycle, right? Okay, so yeah, the Tater Thunder, ladies and gentlemen, up for the first relationship advice story. I feel terrible for OP here. And now I'm sure OP feels the same way that like we all think we would in that situation. And that's feeling more hurt and more sorrow for our child than for ourselves. And not like, yeah, even if your situation is done, there's always going to be a thread between your child and this woman. And you just hope that at some point they do the self-reflection and the hard work it takes to become the person that your daughter needs her to be. But some people just aren't capable of that, I guess. It's sad. And as a 3.5-year-old, I did a better job trying to convince my dad that I didn't cut my hair while standing in front of him with scissors in hand and a chunk of hair on the floor than this woman did. Sounds like Candy Thunder with the mustache scissors and the shower curtain.